Now, ladies and gentlemen, as technological advancements and evolving industry demands continue to reshape the workforce, the collaboration between academia and industry becomes increasingly vital in preparing for the future. Our next guest will explain exactly why this collaboration is essential.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, it is crucial, and technological advancements, Hina, in the kind of world that we live in are so very important when we talk about India's developments and the Industry 4.0 revolution that the world is experiencing every day in their lives.
Well, absolutely. Our focus now is going to be how education sector is going to be very, very important for India to fast track to the top 3, in fact.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming the Director of Academia Industry Partnership at Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Suresh Kodoor, for his keynote address on future-proofing the workforce, the role of academia and industry collaboration.
A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Very good afternoon. It feels great to be here, be part of this forum, India Economic Conclave, where the leaders from different status deliberate and strategize on how to fast forward, how to fast track India's growth, how to make her a world-leading economy to be among the top 3. So I stand here representing a sector that is chartered to play a very crucial role in actually unfolding this incredible growth story, creating leaders, innovators, and the real force who will fuel this exciting drive. So I also want to then share how we in Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, a research-focused premier institution of higher learning, we are innovating and delivering the challenge. Of course, closely working with the industry. So as we deliberate on how to build a workforce for the future, let me begin by sharing a prediction that actually eloquently captures the enormity and complexity of the task. The prediction comes from a World Economic Forum study. The WEF predicts 60% of the children entering primary school today will end up working in completely new job types that don't exist today. Now, the task is cut out both for academia and the industry. The task is to prepare a workforce for tomorrow for the jobs that is not even heard of or have foreseen. And that asks for creativity, imagination, and innovation to anticipate what are going to be those future skill requirements. And accordingly, and the job contents, and then prepare a labor force with skills and traits that will enable them to adapt quickly and successfully to any unforeseen, and then become the fuel for the growth story in the coming decades. So you cannot really predict what skills will be required in the future, but you can prepare them with those traits which will make them quickly adapt to those unforeseen. Say, to probably borrow words from Roosevelt, we cannot always build a future for the youth, but we can always build our youth for the future. That's exactly the challenge, and that's exactly the action plan. So, in an era, if you look at that is marked by huge technological disruptions, and the AI, generative AI, and also the intelligent robots, they're all making very big changes, drastic changes in the business process and production processes. So now, pretty much we know that everyone, the industry is changing, the businesses are changing. Actually, they are in a flux trying to respond to these changes. And this is evolving unevenly. See, when some sectors are still working with transitioning from, say, 3.0 to 4.0 or 4.0 to 5.0, industry 4.0 or 5.0, some others are already talking about industry 6.0, which will be enabled by a completely integrated intelligent systems that will fully operate completely autonomous. That would be a combination of human intelligence and artificial intelligence, human and robotic collaboration, cloud computing, the quantum computing, so on and so forth. So this requires a very multidisciplinary, multi-skilled, and at the same time, flexible, adaptive, and creative workforce. Now, we all know, the world has by now agreed that AI is going to be a game changer, and it is here to stay. Unlike its previous hype cycles, we know that there have been many hype cycles in the past of AI. It promised a lot, but never delivered. This time, that's not going to be the case. AIs are being deployed not only in the industry, in many other sectors, in many other roles, be in manufacturing floor, be in the agricultural farms, be in the healthcare, emergency room, creative arts, whatnot. So all of these will ask for very different skills, because your business processes are changing and the production processes are changing. Now, if you really look at the Future Jobs Report, that is the 2023 released by World Economic Forum, it observes that the job skills landscape is drastically changing because of the technological disruptions and demographical changes, etc. It predicts you will lose around 83 million jobs in the next 5 years, and it will create new 69 million jobs. So what that means is, in next 5 years, you have some jobs which are being lost. 83 lost and 69 newly created. Now, the fear is not as much whether AI will replace your job. The fear is actually, will your job be lost to a person who is more superior in AI skills? And that makes the workers forced to upskill and reskill in AI-related jobs. And in fact, the report says 6 people in every 10 will have to be retrained, will have to be reskilled by year 2027. Now, if you really look at what are the fastest growing jobs, that's for the 5 years. Actually, if you take a horizon of a longer horizon, say 30 years, 50 years, then many experts feel that there will be plenty of jobs of rewarding options. Especially the more jobs would be, or more prominent sectors would be care-based economy, regenerative industry and infrastructure, regenerative agriculture, fisheries, forestries, and so on and so forth. So we are talking about another next 5 to 10 years. What are the main jobs going to be? Obviously, as we all know, the top of the list is AI and ML specialists. And then comes sustainability specialist, as we know a lot of talk on sustainability going around, and business intelligence analyst, information security, fintech engineers, data analysts and scientists, robot engineers, and the list goes. What are the future skills then that would be required to cater to these jobs? The top of the list of the job was AI and ML engineers, but the top of the list of the skill is not really Python programming. The top of the list, they are cognitive abilities, social skills, and technology skills. That is like the top of the list is analytical thinking. Analytical thinking, critical thinking, resilience and flexibility and agility, motivation and self-awareness, curiosity and lifelong learning, technology literacy. Let's say like those are the cognitive skills and bionic skills, which is basically your skills to operate to, the AI and robotic technologies. Now, these are the new skills that we need, which means that the Indian universities will have to catch up or deliver on two specific agendas. One is that it build and future-proof the workforce to drive the growth. The second is drive innovation and entrepreneurship to create knowledge and IP, create the wealth which will fuel the growth. So one is the workforce to fuel or to drive the growth. The other is you build innovation and knowledge and IP to create wealth which will fund the growth. So the task is cut out for the universities, and these cannot happen unless you work closely with the industry. So that is exactly the task ahead for the universities. So the requirement of these new skills mean you need to innovate, you need to invent and implement pedagogical innovations. Your old methods of teaching, learning will not work anymore. Cannot prepare a workforce for tomorrow. So there need to be a pedagogical innovations which will address, one, the fostering of soft skills, competencies. Second, the innovation and the entrepreneurial mindset. We all know innovation is not a natural ally to education. It doesn't come naturally. The education basically teaches, train us to be compliant with the existing, and innovation asks for disruption. So unless you purposely break that, what the inherently in there in the education, you cannot, foster an innovation culture. Hence, the pedagogy has to address that. The third, you need to have opportunity to explore and work with the developing technologies. The students and faculty should get an opportunity there. And the last, experiential learning. So these are the challenges, and these are the pedagogical challenges. So since I'm running out of time, let me wrap up. And Amrita is essentially doing this with a lot of changes in the way the training happens and how the innovations are encouraged. Say, for example, the School of AI is completely following a project-based learning and a continuous evaluation method. Similarly, the life skills are integrated completely into the curriculum with a accredited course that runs across semesters, 3rd to, say, 7th semester, and the regular industry collaboration to get the curriculum updated and their interactions, etc. Apart from that, we also deal into a lot of collaborative research where industry and academia come together to create knowledge and create value. One of the classic examples I want to put here before I conclude, in fact, Amrita, the professor, built a bulletproof, blast-proof, fire-proof composite material, which is now used in army to create the army, their armament as well as the infrastructure, which is actually saving an import of 20,000 crore a year. That's a classic example of how industry, government, and academia can work together in the indigenization of India's armament. Now, with that, I want to close up with a remark that we need to have a real purposeful, deliberate collaboration between academia and industry. If I quote the Chinese example before I wrap up, say China, like in 2015, if you look at, there was 1.5 lakhs projects of industry academia collaboration, which went to 3 lakhs projects by 2020. In funding, 100 billion yuan to 300 billion yuan in 2020. India needs to identify these key areas, AI, e-mobility, semiconductor space, and come up with a strategy, a deliberate, a purposeful, and imaginative policy and actions plans by government, by the academia, and by the industry, which will define our trajectory of growth to 50 trillion by 2050. With that, let me close. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kodoor. Thank you so much. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that education plays a crucial role in driving